Good morning. Hope everyone is having a good start to their Monday morning. Um, we had a great whiteboard presentation last week. If you haven't seen it, be sure to go check it out. I went through the whole 4 steps to better credit. Um, uh, Step 1, 2, 3, and 4. It was a long presentation, hour and a half, but for those of you that are very serious about learning uh, how to improve your credit, you definitely want to check out the last video, the whiteboard presentation. Today, I don't want to take a lot of time. I'm not going to go over all the 4 steps, but I wanted to talk about how to delete student loans. A lot of people are having a lot of success deleting negative items on the credit report. Those of you that have the book already, you know that step two. Step two is to erase derogatory, negative, adverse items off the credit report. Many people, a lot of people, are plagued by student loan debt, specifically student loan debt that went into default. And default just means that when you're supposed to start repayment, you don't, and the loan for months does not get paid and goes into default status. That is a very bad place to be. There are a lot of ways to, well, there are a few ways to cure the default. Um, One way, of course, is to start repayment and to catch the loan up. Another way is to request a deferment, forbearance, things like that. You would do that by contacting the servicer. What I highly recommend is student loan rehabilitation. Student loan rehabilitation is a program whereby you can rehabilitate your loan. And what that means is you take that loan from being a defaulted bad student loan to being a good student loan. And again, to do that, you will contact the servicer. The servicer is the company that is collecting your payments. That may be Navient, Great Lakes, Fed Loan Servicing, Nailnet. It could be any of those entities. So the servicer is the person that collects your money. Now, the servicer may not be the lender, so you know your loan was not necessarily paid out by that person you're paying, but the person that's collecting those payments, that is called the servicer. Um, Now, the servicers are the ones that report your loan repayment history to the consumer reporting agencies. And for those that watched the video the other day, remember the big three consumer reporting agencies are TEE, which stands for TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. All right, so those are the big three. What are three major consumer reporting agencies? And by the way, if you're looking at this on social media, go ahead and like and share to your social media. I'm going to do the same thing right now as we speak. All right, I'm going to share it there. And let's share it one more place. All right. So yeah, so the three major consumer reporting agencies are where you typically find student loan information. And remember, for those that watch the video, you have the big three, the major ones: TEE, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. But you also have the other three, which are CLS, CoreLogic, LexisNexis, and SageStream. You don't really, again, when you're dealing with the consumer reporting agencies, you want to look at all of those. So if you want to pull all those reports, but typically you'll see the student loans on the three major consumer reporting agencies, and if they are negative and are in default, that's a big problem. It can really take a bad hit on your credit score. Most people with student loans have tens of thousands, if not 100,000 plus, if you have a professional degree in student loans. So that is a great amount of debt to go into default. So when it does default, it hits hard. So the solution to that is to rehabilitate that loan. The good thing about rehabilitation is after 6 or 9 months, depending on whatever your rehabilitation plan is, that servicer will rehabilitate that loan and make everything that was negative positive. Your student loan will go into a positive state and you'll be able to start repayment on good terms. Many people don't have those 6 months to wait. Also, many people want to decrease the uh, uh, the debt ratio on their credit for purposes of buying housing, things like that. And so they try to or seek to delete it from their credit report. First of all, I want to let you all know, a lot of people listen, oh, how can you do that? Well, why would you want to delete stuff from your credit report? You do have a student loan. Well, credit reporting is a voluntary process. It's not required by law that your debts, loans, whatever the case may be, it's not required that they be reported on your credit report. So you can, and business owners likely know this, you can guarantee debt, and it not show up on the credit report, as a business owner. The same thing personally, you can have obligations financially that don't have to show up on your credit report, or that could rightfully show up on your credit report, but they don't have to. So student loan debt is one of them. But any debt, anything that's on your credit report is a voluntary process. It's really a business, a data business that the consumer reporting agencies make billions of dollars off of by selling your information. You don't get any financial benefit from it except for the extension of credit. If anything looks good on your credit report. We have a question: do they have to be paid to have them deleted? So I'm going to get to that. So the whole credit reporting process is voluntary. Your student loans do not have to be reported, whether they're good or bad. So just want to set that up first. So a lot of you may think that there's a legal requirement that your debts be on your credit. There is not. Simply, the law actually just limits how these things can be reported and restricts it. So with the limitation is these debts can't be reported. It's very staticky. Okay. All right. Let's see. Thanks for that information. Let me try something. How about that? How's that? I think we were getting some interference. How about now? Now, I apologize if there was some static. I'm gonna try to fix that. How is the volume now? How is the audio? Let's see. How's the audio? Great. Thank you. Thank you, James. Uh, oh, perfect. Perfect. So, okay. I think we were getting some interference. I do apologize. I'm a little new at the live and the audio. So, excellent. Okay. So, first of all, I was just setting up to let you understand your obligations do not have to be on your credit. So, there's no legal obligation for your student loans to be on your credit report. One. Two, the law actually limits and restricts what is reported. So the law doesn't make it necessary or require that your debts be reported. It limits and restricts it. So the limitation is time-wise, uh, 7 years. So if you have anything negative or positive on a credit report, there's a 7-year limit with respect to that reporting. So that defaulted loan, if you did nothing, would the negativity of that will go away in 7 years. Keep in mind, some of these accounts have a long lifespan. So if it has like if you have a 30-year mortgage and you make one late payment, well, that late payment would come off in 7 years, but obviously that loan is still active. So the loan is still there, but that late payment history after 7 years will go away. So understand that too. All right. So time limitation. There's also content limitation. So the content about your student loan has to be accurate and complete. It has to be completely accurate and it has to be complete. Okay. So that's under the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So that's what you're going to use to delete these student loans. All right. And also, the law does not require the consumer reporting agencies to send you anything as far as your loan contract and all of that. I see a lot of videos speaking about, oh, they don't have your wet ink contract or send you your wet ink contract. They have to delete it. That's not the case. The FCRA does not require consumer reporting agencies to send you anything but a copy of your credit report and maybe information regarding how they verified information on your credit report, including the company they communicated with and their contact information. Outside of that, the consumer reporting agencies actually don't have to send you anything. So I did a video the other day about a 609 letter, which is not the correct letter. Um, Someone is making millions of dollars off of that marketing of that letter, but that's the completely wrong letter and section of the FCRA. That 609 section correlates with 1681G. The section you really want to focus on is 1681I, which would be section 611. But nevertheless, just wanted to clear that up. If you think that the Consumer Reporting Agency owes you a loan agreement, they're not going to give it to you. Now, you can get that from the servicer, but that's under the FDCPA, which is a completely different law. But today we're talking about deleting off the credit report. We're not talking about necessarily disputing it with the servicer. To delete it off the credit report and answer your question, Latanya Cochran, the book itself does have a consumer reporting agency dispute letter that you could use for student loans. And right now, it's actually a tailored template that can be used for any debt. Right now, if you look in the description, you'll see a link to my book. If you order my book and then email your receipt to my email, which is brian@brianponder.com, what I did, I have some bonus letters I'm going to send you if you do that today, but I have tailored a specific letter for student loans. So you will get that. The bonus letters are for repossessions, student loans, inquiries. Those are the bonus letters that you'll get, and some other items that I'm not going to tell you about, but you'll see once you email me. But those are the letters I'm telling you about that are bonuses: repossession, student loan, credit card. Oh, did I mention credit card? So credit card is another one, a bonus letter. Okay. So yeah, so you just order the book on Amazon Prime and then email me your receipt. Just forward it or screenshot it and email me the receipt. Um, all right, so student loans, they don't have to be reported. If they are reported, they're restricted in time and content. It has to be accurate and complete, meaning it has to be accurately reported. What's reported has to be correct, accurate, and it has to be complete. All right, so what does that mean? This is what you're going to use to get that off of your credit report. So accuracy, is the balance correct? Okay. Are the terms correct? The terms is how long, what type of account. It's an installment account, for example, or is it a contract account? Okay. It has to be correct. Um, Balances, are the balances correct? All right. Complete. Does it show a balance? Does it show a payment history on each month? Um, Also, completeness. Does it have the full name of the creditor? All right. Because you don't do business with the servicer. So, does it have the full name of the creditor on it, the original creditor? Complete. Does it have the complete name of the creditor or the servicer? Okay. So, any of these things, and chapter 1 of the book talks about how to review your trade lines to find inaccurate or incomplete items. This is what you use to delete things off your credit report. So you find something inaccurate or incomplete in that student loan reporting, and you use that and demand that that account be deleted. All right. You don't want to say, hey, update it. My balance is really this. And some of your student loans have transferred. So you have to look out for that. Some loans transfer from one servicer to the next. So wherever it transferred from, say if it went from NailNet to Navient, well, NailNet should be zeroed out. A lot of times you'll find the balance still there. That's hurting you. That's inaccurate. A lot of times you'll see a dash or nothing in the balance. That's incomplete. So what you want to do is identify specifically the inaccuracy or the incomplete information and tell them it is that. It's, you're reporting inaccurate information. This right here is inaccurate, or this right here is incomplete. Delete this item, this trade line from my credit report and send me a copy within 30 days. So that's 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 some of what the letter will say. That's some of the language you want to have in the letter. Of course, like I said, I'll email you the complete letter that has all the language and verbiage that you need. But that's how you go about deleting your student loan. Now, before I go, I want to talk about something else. When you delete your student loan from your credit report, that does not mean you do not have to pay it. I'm going to repeat that. When you delete, or when you get a deletion of your student loan, excuse me, from your credit report, that does not mean, oh, I'm student loan free. No, 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 no. So let me just talk about that for a minute, because I'm seeing, oh, I deleted my student loans, or just hallelujah. No, 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 that's not the case. And let me tell you something, unless you're following the methods in my book, with collections, my method of helping you delete collections, you're collection free with some of the methods that I teach. But student loans is a different animal. So if you have a government guaranteed student loan, all right, and you find inaccuracies in its reporting, you may be able to delete it from your credit report. That's awesome. That does not mean you don't owe that money. You still need to rehabilitate it. You still need to make arrangements to repay it, unless otherwise indicated by the servicer or creditor, okay, or court. So that's very important to understand, okay? I don't hear that a lot. I see people speaking about, oh, we help you delete, but no, there's a whole nother side of this that you have to keep in mind. Student loans don't go away because they're deleted. And in most cases, things that are deleted from the credit report are not disappeared, or anything, unless otherwise indicated. And if you read my book, it talks about how to get rid of deletion, how to get rid of collections in the form of deletions and wiping away the debt. That's debt deletion altogether. But so I teach you these methods. But student loans, just because they're deleted, does not mean you don't have to repay it. You still have to repay student loans, especially government guaranteed student loans. Why is that? Well, the law is written as such. Anytime you're dealing with the government, so any government guaranteed student loans, if they default, the servicer can actually garnish your wages without even taking you to court. Most of the time, to get your wages garnished, you have to go to court and lose. But the law is written such that the government, if they guarantee your student loans and they go into default, they can give you a notice, basically write you a letter, give you the opportunity to have a hearing. And if you don't do that, then they'll just go straight to garnishing your money. Okay. So very important to understand that. I've, you know, I have helped people delete, uh, I don't know, definitely over 6 figures worth of student loans. Um, I don't think I'm at necessarily the $1 million mark. I don't think, but uh, yeah, well into the 6 figures I've deleted in student loans. But you got to keep in mind, student loans have to be repaid. So that's not a ticket just to not deal with student loans. So understand that. So any other questions? Really just want to keep it short and sweet. Talk to you about how to delete student loans. You do it in a similar way to any other item. However, student loans are a completely different animal from any other debt. You can get garnished if you don't repay it, but it can be deleted. So you can delete a student loan. Um, Again, some of you may just want to decrease your debt to income ratio to buy a home or something like that. But you can't falsify any records, but you can delete things from your credit report. What I mean by that is, you have to understand the laws when it comes to filling out applications. You have to be forthcoming. But as far as your credit is concerned, it is perfectly legal for you to delete items from your credit report. That is not a requirement that any debt you have be listed on your credit report. So keep that in mind. Can they show back up after they delete it? Anything can show back up after it's deleted. Um, to answer the question, hopefully not, right? So, but anything is possible. Things show up, things can get deleted. But if you delete it using the methods I'm telling you, if anything does show back up, the consumer reporting agencies have to notify you in a special way. If they don't, then they can be in violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Um, but hypothetically, anything um, can be reported, can be deleted, can show up. So that's why you have to consistently monitor and constantly take a look at your report uh, so you can know what's going on. Yeah, I've heard of ECMC. All right. All right. So Lewis has a comment: student loans promissory note. All right. Um, all right. So yeah. So Lewis W says a student loan is a promissory note. Well, most loans start with a promissory note, a promise to pay it back. So um, can't delete ECMC. So if anyone is listening, if you're listening to me, uh, listen to me carefully. So I've established student loans can be deleted. It doesn't matter who lists it. So the question is, can you delete ECMC? It doesn't matter who is the name. It doesn't matter what the name is on it. We're talking about the item itself. So if it's listed by ECMC, Navient, Nelnet, um, so um, when I speak about student loan deletions, I'm not speaking about, oh, you can delete it if it's listed by this company. No. These laws apply to no matter who lists it. Um, all right. So any other questions? Well, anyway, look, I see some names in here. So yeah, so obviously any of you that are watching that are interested in the student loan deletion letter or learning, and again, it's all about learning and understanding. Don't use any of this stuff without reading or listening to the full video and learning what you're doing, because if you don't follow all 4 steps that I give you, you'll know enough just to hurt yourself. So um, be sure to listen to the whiteboard presentation, order my book, 4 Steps to Better Credit. Email me your receipt, brian@brianponder.com. What I will do when you email me your receipt is respond. And all the letters that I put in my book, I'll email to you in Microsoft Word format. And I'll also include some bonus letters. I'll tell you about some of the bonus letters. One of them include a student loan deletion letter, a credit card deletion letter, uh, but repossession, student loan, credit card, inquiry. Those are some of the bonus letters that you can expect. Now, you all hurry up because some of these bonus letters are not all going to be available. I'm going to update them and properly separate them as separate products. So if you're watching this video, just understand these bonuses and things like that, they are effective the date of this video, obviously, but a month from now, it may not be the case. So, but at any time, anyone that orders the book will get, if they want, if they email me, I will give them the original letters, but These bonus letters are for a limited time only, so you don't want to wait because I am in the process of expanding some of these bonus letters into full-fledged products because repossession is a whole field of itself. Student loan deletion. I'm going to do a whole series on that. Credit card deletion, inquiry deletion. So definitely want to act now. The book is very inexpensive, $25. The bonus letters are free, so take advantage of that. In the description, James, you'll see a link, but it's on Amazon. But in the description, you'll see a link to buy the book. All right, everyone, have an awesome Monday, and if you're looking at this replay, you feel free to ask questions. You're very welcome.